And then you're gonna do a little, what's that shape called? Is that like a trapezoid? And then, so there's your basic body. And then for the legs, just gonna do 2 parallel lines with a circle for the knees. It's got 4 legs, of course. And it's really subtle, but you'll notice that, so this is the leg that's closer to you, and then the leg behind, it's just a little bit higher up. And so the leg that's further behind, you're gonna make just a little tiny bit shorter. And then for the feet actually have a lot of detail, but if you want to do it simple, you can just kind of give it the thick base, and then some toes. All right, and then for the head, you're going to kind of start with a rectangle, and then a slight line down, and then you got the cockpit window. And then it's got side cannons, cannon underneath, and then I feel like I made my AT-AT's head too small. I don't know. So the AT-AT is definitely one that I would have pictures out to draw from. I don't know if any of you noticed, and Chewbacca is very hairy. So Chewbacca, I usually start with his head, and the basic shape is going to be like this, but you want to make Chewbacca furry. So I do that kind of shape, but then I stop and add some fur along the way. Right? So instead of just drawing it straight. Now if you have a pencil, you can draw it and then just add the detail and then erase lines too. And then at the bottom of his head, lots of fur. And then my Chewbacca's always have these 2 little eyes. It's basically a circle, and then you're gonna leave a tiny circle that's not filled in. So that's for Chewbacca's eyes. And then for a nose, you're gonna draw kind of a half circle with, it's almost like a Pac-Man ghost that's been squished down. And then for Chewbacca's mouth, I do just little teeth. And then I start adding some more detail with fur. So you're gonna do fur above the eyes. So there's Chewbacca's eyebrows. He's got kind of fur from his cheeks, and some fur on the chin, and then fur at the top. So that's the basic Chewbacca head. And then I don't think I'll draw the full body, but for his ammo belt, you're basically drawing some rectangles there. And then you draw lines through each. There's Chewbacca's arms. That's Chewbacca. So a fun fact, if you've ever seen my books and you look closely, so Chewbacca's face starts with kind of the two eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And that's also how I draw Ewoks. So I don't know if Ewoks and Wookiees are actually related in any way, but I kind of use the same start of them for my drawings. But right in the front here. So I'll show you how to draw a 4-year-old Luke Skywalker. So my first Star Wars book, Darth Vader Son, Luke is 4 years old, and I base it on my son who was 4 years old at the time. So this is my son Oscar when he was 4. So this is cartoon 4-year-old Oscar. You don't have to draw this one. And so Luke is basically based on him. So I always start with the side of his face. So you're gonna kind of do a slight curved line and then a larger curved line. And then when you get to the other side, you're gonna add the ear, which is a circle. Then you kind of do like a line that stops and then another smaller circle. There's Luke's ear. And then, unlike Oscar, Luke gets a 1970s haircut. So, kind of smashing his head here. Oh no. I need to start that over. So, I've probably drawn Luke Skywalker thousands and thousands of times, but yes, I still make mistakes sometimes. So, let's start again here. So the 1970s haircut, so I start with the top of the head and it kind of curls at the bottom. Kind of get some feathery curls at the other side. It's a little bit of a sideburn. And then 2 little dots for eyes. Nose. And my Luke is usually pretty happy, not quite as moody as you might remember in some of the movies. A little more hair in the back. And then he's got his Tatooine outfit. So there. And then for the legs, it's really simple, just 2 rectangles, 2 slightly smaller rectangles with lines across, and then his feet. So there's little 4-year-old Luke Skywalker. How about, let's see how I can do here. I'm gonna switch. And so Baby Yoda is another one that I'm so used to drawing Yoda, and I've drawn Yoda so many times, I still have a hard time drawing Baby Yoda. And I haven't practiced it a lot, so that's not a green pen. Green pen. But so sometimes when I'm drawing Baby Yoda, I can just look at my socks, I guess. But okay. So Baby Yoda's head isn't quite a circle. It's a little more oval. So you start with line, and you leave that little space for Baby Yoda's ears.
Need a photo, Remy?
I don't speak droid. I'm sorry. It's very annoyed that I cannot communicate. I think he was trying to give me some advice about drawing Baby Yoda. And for Baby Yoda's ears, just do a long line with a little C. And Baby Yoda has these big eyes. And a little tiny nose. Maybe a little chin. And Yoda has lots of wrinkles. Baby Yoda doesn't have quite as many wrinkles, but you can add a few wrinkles there. And then to fill in the eyes, if you draw two little circles, like a little circle and then an even smaller circle, and then fill in all around those, that kind of gives Baby Yoda cute little eyes. So there's Baby Yoda's head, and then Baby Yoda's outfit has this kind of fur coat thing happening. Hands barely stick out. So there's my Baby Yoda attempt. I don't know, I still need a lot more Baby Yoda practice. Half circle. And then the bottom line you're going to curve slightly. And then below that, your BB-8's body. It's a big circle. Then you're going to do a line parallel to the bottom there. And then kind of two robotic eyes, one big, one small. And then at the top of the eye, there's a line that kind of goes across the top of his head. A couple little more details. And then two antennae, one slightly longer. So that's BB-8's head. And then BB-8's body has three circles that are cut off by his body. So you can draw three circles, and then draw a parallel line for a smaller circle inside each of those. And then just a small straight line connecting each of those. And then there's each of these circles has a different kind of detail in the middle. And then there's these tiny little details. So that's BB-8. And then to make BB-8 move, all you need to do is draw a couple little lines. And if he's on like Jakku or something in the desert, a little dust trail, that's BB-8.